I do think it's interesting. We had jobless claims for 3 consecutive weeks coming in at 260,000, which was sharply above what was prior. I think we were around the 215 level. And then last week, we got jobless claims coming back in around that lower level. But I would just point out to people that oftentimes around holidays, people say, even if they lose their job, they say, you know what, I'll file, I'm going away with my family, or I'm doing this. And so they tend to wait to file maybe a week or two until that holiday is over. That happens really around Christmas as well. You'll see a drop in jobless claims because of that as well. So it'll be curious to see. Maybe it'd be interesting to see this week. I don't know if this week will change much because it is a kind of a holiday week, but next week would be big on jobless claims to kind of follow that number.
Hello, and welcome to Crypto Street, where we bring you the latest and most intriguing stories from the world of cryptocurrencies. In today's video, we'll be unraveling the secrets of Bitcoin's future. But before we jump into that, let's take a look at some recent developments in the cryptocurrency market. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, will eventually approve Bitcoin spot exchange-traded funds, ETFs, Anthony Pompliano believes. According to Goldman Sachs, the supply of Bitcoin and Ether on exchanges decreased in June. However, Bitcoin miners' inventory sales reached a record high as they capitalized on the strong performance of the cryptocurrency. ADA, the native cryptocurrency of the Cardano blockchain, continued its upward trend, reaching a 10-day high on Tuesday. Shares of Coinbase experienced a significant surge of over 30% following amendments to the Bitcoin ETF applications by Nasdaq and PFO. The latest guidelines issued by five securities regulators require digital asset platforms to issue risk warnings for crypto trading. UK finance experts have suggested that holdings of a digital pound should be limited to £5,000 to prevent panic and potential systemic risks. Cameron Winklevoss, co-founder of Gemini, a cryptocurrency exchange, tweeted a $1.5 billion final offer in debt talks related to the crypto firm Genesis. Crypto traders are exercising caution regarding Bitcoin as measures of fiat liquidity point lower. Now let's begin our enlightening discussion with Gareth Soloway.
The Gary Gensler resigning news fake. And the answer is yes. At this point, there's absolutely no doubt about it. I saw the same things on Twitter the last 24 hours about him resigning. But if you look at who broke the news, it was like crypto news, cryptoalerts.com. Like, it wasn't a reputable source. And then just for everyone out there, one of the things I do, so anytime I hear a rumor and I want to know if it's true, I go look at the underlying asset. And the fact was that Bitcoin yesterday barely budged. If that news was true, smart money would have known it even before we heard about it, and price would have gone nuts. So I would remind people there's a lot of crap on Twitter out there. You got to be really careful, but always go back to price action. You're never going to be the first one to hear the news. I'm never the first one to hear the news. Smart money knows way before us. So if price isn't moving when you take a look, then it's not true.
In a conversation with CNBC's Squawk Box host Joe Kernan, venture capitalist and Bitcoin advocate Anthony Pompliano shared his thoughts on the recent Bitcoin ETF filings and the SEC's response to them. Pompliano expressed optimism, believing that the SEC will eventually approve a Bitcoin spot exchange-traded fund. Pompliano suggested that the SEC's complaint about the filings being inadequate stems from the regulator's desire for more clarity. They want complete information on custodianship and surveillance sharing agreements to better understand the nature of the ETFs. He mentioned that CBOE has already refiled, indicating that their surveillance sharing agreement will be made with Coinbase. Pompliano expects other entities, including BlackRock, to follow suit and provide the necessary information. He believes that a spot Bitcoin ETF will eventually be approved, particularly for BlackRock, as it is a reputable player in the financial markets. However, he refrained from predicting the exact timing of the approval. Pompliano emphasized that the rush to apply for a Bitcoin spot ETF reflects Wall Street's desire to gain access to Bitcoin. Once the ETF is approved, he believes institutions will start investing in it, similar to what happened when the Bitcoin Futures ETF was approved. Discussing Bitcoin's performance in 2023, Pompliano noted that while the stock market, particularly the Nasdaq Composite Index, saw significant growth, Bitcoin outperformed it by tripling its gains with an 85% increase. He acknowledged that Bitcoin is still below its all-time high of $69,000, but pointed out that Bitcoin's fundamentals, such as hash rate and adoption, continue to grow. Pompliano anticipates price growth after the Bitcoin halving event, which is expected to take place in April or May of next year. The supply of Bitcoin BTC and Ether ETH On exchanges declined in June according to a report by Goldman Sachs. Bitcoin supply dropped by 4%, nearing the levels seen in December 2022, which were the lowest since November 2020, right before the start of the 2021 bull market. Ether supply also slid by 5.8%, reaching levels not witnessed since May 2018. This trend can be attributed to several factors, as stated by the bank. Major centralized spot exchanges are facing regulatory challenges, which have put investors on alert. Cyber hacks and thefts remain a concern in the crypto markets, leading asset holders to prefer self-custody, in line with the adage, not your keys, not your coins. Specifically for Ether, the availability of stake Ether withdrawals has prompted investors to stake their tokens rather than hold them passively on exchanges. Goldman Sachs highlighted that June witnessed record sales of Bitcoin miners' inventory as miners capitalize on the cryptocurrency's strong performance. Total monthly inflows of BTC from miners to exchanges nearly doubled from May, reaching $99 million. The Bitcoin price rose by almost 12% during the month. With transaction fees returning to normal levels in June after the network congestion observed in May, both Bitcoin and Ether experienced a rebound in monthly address activity. Bitcoin's monthly address activity increased by 15.5%, while Ether's surged by 37.5%. Additionally, the average daily Ether burnt decreased by 65.1%, and average daily fees dropped by 63.3% on a month-on-month basis, as noted by Goldman Sachs. Furthermore, there was an increase in new on-chain activity. The daily average new address count for Bitcoin and Ether rose by 9.8% and 48.2% respectively, compared to the previous month.
The real estate market takes a long time to kind of play out, but it is interesting to see that home prices did downtick. I follow like my Zillow house, like the value of it on Zillow, and then it was downticking, and now it's starting to move right back up. So ISM data's come in pretty weak today. We saw some decent numbers. I think the media was really harping on GDP, but you and I were discussing this before going live, and GDP being revised up to 2% could very well likely be the fact that inflation caused prices to pop, and people still have to buy what they got to buy, right? I mean, people are now going into their debt more and more. Credit card debt is now above $1 trillion. And so did GDP just come in at 2% because of inflation?
Bitcoin BTC made significant gains on Tuesday, inching closer to a new one-year high as U.S. markets observed the July 4th holiday. Starting the week at $30,586.51, BTC/USD surged to an intraday peak of $31,375.61 during the session. This move brought Bitcoin close to its highest point since June of the previous year, approaching the Friday high of $31,443. However, the momentum has since slowed down as the Relative Strength Index, RSI, encountered resistance at the 70.00 level. Currently at 68.43, the RSI is heading towards a support level around 66.00. If it reaches this point, Bitcoin may be trading around the $30,500 level. Ethereum ETH experienced a setback in today's session, slipping below the $1,950 mark after briefly approaching $2,000 on Monday. The drop took ETH/USD to a low of $1,949.15, occurring less than 24 hours after reaching a peak of $1,974.78. However, the world's second-largest cryptocurrency has since recovered and is once again approaching a multi-month high. To achieve this milestone, ETH bulls will need to surpass a key resistance level at the 64.00 zone. Currently, the Relative Strength Index, RSI, sits at 62.59, its highest level since April 19 when the price was above $2,100. Some analysts speculate that Ethereum could potentially revisit this level in the weeks to come. That wraps up today's crypto news highlights. Stay tuned for more updates, insights, and analysis from the world of cryptocurrencies. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.